Rita here, back again for our next episode of Real Talk. And today I am so excited to welcome you to Cate Schreck. Cate was one of my very first mentors when I started off in my HR and training career. And one of the biggest gifts Cate gave me was the ability to just have fun and teach that to people. So I'm so excited to welcome Cate today. Cate, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, my pleasure, Lauren. I'm really looking forward to this chat.
I know, me too. When we were talking the other day, I was so excited. We just went back to just laughing and having fun, didn't we?
Don't you love it when you have people in your life where there is no kind of disconnect? You're just always connected. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Exactly. I haven't physically seen you for what? 12 years? 10
Probably.
years?
We've tried. We
have tried. We have certainly tried, haven't we? But that connection has remained, hasn't it?
Yeah, totally. And that's the good thing about finding people that you have that same sort of, I call it a water level. You know, you just, something just clicks and you think, oh my God, we're actually just always going to be in each other's zone. So I'm thrilled to come and have a chat and find out what you're doing and share a bit about what I've been up to.
Yeah, thank you. So Cate, can you take us back to share with us a bit about you, who you are and what you've created for your life and career? Because I know that you have created so much and I'm so excited to share it all.
All right. So born and bred country, Western Victoria.
Yeah.
A little town called Warwick-Nabil, so farmer's daughter. School that I went to went from prep to year 8. So, strange little thing. So I then went to boarding school in Horsham, which is about 40 minutes away, for year 9 and year 10. And sadly in year 9, there was a bit of a life disruptor for our family. One of my elder brothers passed away. And it was a really unfortunately, not usually the words I like to use with this, but he was diagnosed in March and he passed away in November. So, and it was leukemia. So it was a really, for me, I was in year 9 at school and it was just, as you can imagine, total disruptor. And I just wanted to come home after that. I went back to school for year 10 and then I really just wanted to be home. I could have gone to the local school, but I think I was just developing what I would say was a strong sense of purpose. And I just wanted to be home and I wanted to get a job and I wanted to be just, you know, I think I wanted to shake it up a bit too. I think I just kind of felt just like, the water shifted a lot. So I started my first job. I got a job. So and back then, we're talking 1985. You know, back in the day. Actually, you were kind of congratulated for getting a job back then. It wasn't about going to school to get to year 12 and then to go to uni. If you got a job, it was like, well done.
Yeah.
And during that time, as I said, I think I was a bit unstable of what I wanted to do. So it just felt like, okay, let's just try something completely different, get out of school, change everything. So I did that. I worked in a pharmacy for a whole 18 months. And until one of the big 4 banks moved to town. And that was a big career opener because banking was a career pathway. You could see that you could get promoted. There was opportunity for travel. So I did stay in one of the big 4 banks for about 17 years. So, so I had a wonderful experience in banking and I had probably one of the worst experiences as well. So for the first 10 years, I would have to say I really loved it. It was great. And that's where I learned all my passion for people in the workplace. I think that is where my understanding of what it's like to have co-workers that, you know, you want to do a good job, but you also maybe don't get on with them. To learn how to navigate that stuff. I had to learn how to deal with difficult customers, and there was a lot. And then at the ripe old age of 32, I was retrenched. Massive life shift again. Retrenchment for me was exciting for about 24 hours. Like,
was it?
Yeah, it was. I was kind of like, oh, this is good. I hated banking. Probably the last 5 years of my career in banking, I really didn't like it. So when I got retrenched, I was like, woohoo! But then I kind of woke up and thought, gosh, I'm 32. I've got a year 10 qualification.
Yeah.
I've got 17 years working in a bank and I don't want to be in a bank anymore. I was single and I had a mortgage. This was like a whole kind of, I don't know if I'd call it a wake-up call, because I was honestly wide awake when I went into it. It was more about, here's an opportunity, Kate. What are you going to do with it? And that for me was a real pivotal turning point. I did a lot of self-reflection. A lot of stuff in that area at 32. And pivot now. 20 years later, I am running 2 businesses, all about customer service and team harmony in workplaces. I'd say the best thing, if you know, hindsight's the way you look back and reflect on whether or not you made the right choices. I don't think you make any wrong choices. You just make choices. So that's kind of like the...
Wow, that's great. And it gives us a full picture.
It's a big picture.
Yeah, of your career. And what I really love there, and we're hearing it so much at the moment, but you pivot, you know, your ability to pivot then to then create what you have created now. And I think I love what you shared there in terms of also that then self-reflection that you need to then create what you've created. So can you talk us through that? Maybe talk us through even those early days and what you focused on in that self-reflection to then be able to move and pivot and then create what you've created, Kate.
Didn't understand until I started this from 32 to 51 that I am now, those years. I quite naturally am geared to adjust, adapt and be flexible. And I didn't know that was a strength. I think it's pretty innate with me. And I'm going to say that I'm going to honour my mum and dad for that skill, because when I was 2, my mum was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So my growing up has always been very much about, well, let's put it to you this way. I could go to school in the morning and come home and mum was in hospital. So the changes about how I was living and what I was feeling was always about, if you've got something to do, do it now, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So I think that's kind of built into me, is that if you see an opportunity, you better grab it, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And, of course, I think that at 14, that was ingrained in me a bit further with my brother passing away so quickly. I think I just kept getting these really clear messages that you've got one shot at this. And, you know, watching a mother whose health deteriorated and her physicality deteriorated, not a mental health. You know, she was limited. My brother Tim didn't get another shot after the age of 24, and I feel like it's just built into me that I'm quite privileged. And it would be almost disrespectful not to take every opportunity that comes my way, even though I risk assess. I'm a big risk assessor. I'm not, you know. I'm not going to throw myself. I'm not going to do that. But I get super excited about opportunity. So for me, and as you get older, you look back and you kind of go, okay, I can see a pattern here. I get kind of uncomfortable in my comfort zone. I literally want to bust those walls down, because I feel like there must be something on the other side of the wall. I better go have a look. So, that's kind of how I treat everything, I think.
And that is definitely, I can absolutely attest to that. That is one of the things you taught me so early in your career, and not from the words. We haven't had this conversation. I didn't know that story, and it's in your behaviour that you do that. Definitely, and that's something that you've shared with me. And I think what I love about you sharing that, Kate, is you created a belief when you were young. That could have gone 2 ways though, Kate, you know.
Absolutely. And again, I'll always credit that to my very, very strong mum and dad. You know, I watched my father, who was a farmer, and our farm was 20 minutes from our we had to move into Warwick-Nabil. Our farm was 20 minutes from Warwick-Nabil. So Dad literally adjusted his whole farming life. You know, it was a 4-generation farming family. They lived on the farm and they had to move because of Mum's health. So I never heard grumbles. I never heard we can't do it. Never. It was always, this is what the lay of the land is now. And as a family, we'll get through this. And I think that's what I see a lot, you know, just with a bit with the COVID things going on. I just see our older generation handling it with such grace and determination. And there's a real level of don't panic. You know, and that's, I think, what I've been brought up with. So maybe that's exactly what that sort of cement in my shoes is.
Yeah.
That's the foundation. It's just, you know, life is life. Do your best, and you can't fail. I just kept hearing that all my life. You cannot fail. Yeah. Yeah. It was always, it was the most fantastic. I called my family a bit of a trampoline. I'm always the one jumping around, but they're the safe place to lounge. But they'll bounce me back up pretty quick if I get too big for my boots. If I
do they?
Yeah, totally. We're totally honest and raw with each other to a fault. But yeah, my little the circus that is my family, and the circus family I married into, we're all the same. I don't know whether it's country breeding or what it is, but we're all very resilient just by nature.
Yeah, I love that, the circus family. I've been married into the circus family. Love it. Love it.
Hey, my married name's Schreck. What am I going to do?
I know, right? I know. It's just so fitting, isn't it?
I know, and I had a choice. I could have kept the maiden name Brennan. Like, that was quite respectable.
Yeah. It's not as fun, though. I
know.
It's not as fun.
Oh, it's fantastic. I walk into training environments now. I walk into a room full of 50 or 100 strangers and I introduce myself, and I'll work out pretty quickly what sort of room I've got, and where the humour sits.
Conversation starter for sure. Wouldn't it be? So from that, you know, you created this belief, and you have been able to create this adaptability and this change and this mindset of bringing fun. That's definitely, I know our conversation will go down there. But for our audience today, you know, can you talk us through, even though you've got this belief and this mindset and the ability to adapt and the calm grassroots, can you talk us through, as much as you're happy to share, about some of the struggles that you had to overcome to create the life that you've created, Cate?
Well, gee, where will I start? So I guess I got some super stories, Loz.
Love it. Share them.
Look, honestly, I would say obviously the first one, I think I don't know my mum being fit and healthy. So unconsciously I haven't realised that that's been, I would never call it a struggle, but it has been different to other people. Is that, you know, having that sort of just, it's always there. It's always in the back of your mind when the phone rings. Is it about mum? Where is she now? How's she going? So that is a unconscious struggle. I think Tim passing away at 14 was another one. I had a very, I'm going to say even a mini, I don't like the word breakdown. It always sounds like it's quite traumatic. But there was a real kind of dip at the age of 23. I was engaged at the time. And at 20, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. At 22, I had symptoms of multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
So I myself had a diagnosis. Fortunately, mine never progressed beyond 3 years of just a range of symptoms, multiple sclerosis. I had double vision. I had a bit of numbness, all these sorts of things. And this all was around the time I was engaged. That relationship fell apart spectacularly 6 weeks before the wedding. That's his story to tell, but the outcome for me was pretty traumatic. It was, I would say, quite honestly, I lost something like 20 kilos in 6 weeks. At the same time I was coming off cortisone for the MS. Everything just hit the floor. So that for me was a huge kind of, it was a trust issue that was broken. And that really, what can I say? It's changed me forever. I believe that my trust centre has really, really been rocked. And it takes me a long time to really put trust back out there to anybody and anything. I remember initially when that shock happened, I didn't want to drive the car. That's how much my trust system was broken. I didn't trust people on the road. Really? Everything was shattered. So anyway, go forward about 3 months of love and tender care from my family and friends. I got out of bed eventually and kind of went back to work, and I thought, I can't be in this small town now. It was too small. There was all sorts of rumours and horrible things going on. So that's when I got out and moved to Bendigo.
So started.
Yeah, so that was kind of where I think Bendigo for me became a place to kind of, okay, I'm not someone's no one knows my father, no one knows my history, no one knows anything. Yeah, it was where I kind of, no one knows my mum, no one knows anything. I could just kind of formulate Kate.
Yes.
So I spent 10 years having a hell of a time.
Formulating Kate. Tell us about this part.
Yeah. I took off overseas for 6 months.
Yeah.
I went on my own. Here I was pushing the walls down to see what was on the other side. Through this, I was still in banking. Banking got really ugly. It went from customer service to sales. That didn't fit my natural personality.
Yeah.
And I would say that by the age of 32, when I got retrenched, I was just so sick of hitting walls that I was like, no, not this time. So I went and got some career counselling.
Yep.
And that was when I was introduced to psychometric assessments. That's when I was introduced to behavioural profiling and so much just, it's why I call one of my businesses Lightbulb Training Solutions, because it was like these light bulbs, they just kept going off. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, why didn't I know this? Why didn't I understand all this human behaviour? I don't wrap my whole world up in it. It's a language that made sense to me. I totally get it. And from then on, that's when I really realised that people need to know stuff in workplaces. Like workplaces is where we are. That's where most of us spend a lot of our time. And to me, that's, I guess, the vehicle I'm using is two businesses to get that stuff into workplaces so that things can be a bit easier. Yeah, so every downtime, I'm a big silver lining girl. I wouldn't be here without that broken romance. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without my uncomfortable time in the bank. Everything leads you somewhere. Downtimes are great.
Yeah. Well, they do. They lead you to something, and I know it's in that moment that's the challenge. And
it is, totally.
Yeah.
But that's what resilience is. Resilience is precedence to me. I can look back and go, I've got through worse than this. I've had an MS diagnosis, a really horrific romance breakdown. I've had a sibling pass away. I've had ill health. And I've had that moment for about 3 years where I thought, am I going to be in a wheelchair? Am I going to be in hospital? All of these things.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't come out of the womb like this.
What do you mean? You weren't just created like this?
And I was like, hi, Mum and Dad, I'm here. It's choosing what you do with those experiences and knowing just in the bottom of my feet, I know I'll get through it. I absolutely know that I will. So COVID to me has been a chance for reflection again. I've actually really enjoyed just a chance to just reflect and go, right, okay, where are you going? What bus, boat or train are you on? Never been a big one for the 5-year plan, Loz. I don't know about you. I like plans.
Yeah.
But maybe because I've had so much disruption that I can't go too far forward. So 12 months is good for me. I need a goal. I need plans. I absolutely need them, but I can't do the big 5-year. That just makes me nervous.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous, and I think it's because I have the anxiety built in that, there's a big fat chance it might not happen. So I plan really strongly. I do quarterly planning for the business. My husband and I do planning for holidays. We plan things we want to do, but it's not like this strong. And maybe that's age as well, 50s and 60s. We're at a different time where we're kind of, the business is our baby. We're looking after each other, and that's kind of enough.
And I think there's a couple of things I want to draw on here. Firstly, I think what I'm really, really hearing there, Kate, is you have taken planning and made it suit you and your life. You've adapted to what works for you, and that's all this is really all about. It's about, if you big picture, big vision, then, put that in place. It gives you that pull factor, but, find out what works for you. And that's what I'm really hearing is it's that 12 months, it's the quarterly, it's the planning, the holidays, and that seems to work for you.
I've always got to have a goal, and it's always got to be exciting and fun. So, we said 12 months ago, we said, right, 2022 is the year we're going back overseas. Well, hello.
Yeah.
Who knows? But, we can say 2022 is the year we do Australia. It's always just being okay with. The goal in that is not the holiday, it's the break from work. So if the break from work has to change, then we'll just change the destination, and all of that's okay. I just got to have something to reach for. It helps me budget. It helps me get excited about what I'm doing in my job when I have something out the other side that I'm aiming for. So yeah.
And that, just what you've shared there, it's not the overseas holiday, it's the experience that gives you. That's really what you're looking for. So it's pivoting, adjusting to still create that. And that's also what you do really well, Cate.
Yeah, I just I never realised that until, you know, you start kind of allowing your story to come out and people reflecting it back to you like you're doing now. Like, I didn't realise how much, it's certainly not unique, but it is, from what I'm hearing, it's not super common either. And at the same time, you know, it's got its downsides too. You know, I find it sometimes a challenge to, you know, when people say, come on, Kate, it's a business, you've got to put things in place. And I'm like, oh, okay, yes, I'm a detailed person by nature. I like things to be linear. Yeah. But I've also, that anxiety drives me to don't stay too long in one place. So it's, you know, everything's got a plus and a minus about it.
Yeah, it does. And reflecting on what works for you, you know, that creates the anxiety, do what works, change and pivot. And it's not one size fits all. So what suits one person, and this is this whole behaviour world too, isn't it? What suits one person doesn't necessarily suit the other.
No, and I think that's where empathy comes into it, which is I'm a big proponent of empathy in all my training. You know, I train in customer service and teamwork, and it all starts with empathy. Excuse me. It also starts a lot with assertiveness, you know, looking after yourself as much as you're looking after the people around you. So that was a big piece that was missing for me in banking. I was not looking after me. And that attributed a lot to me having a time in the bank where I had 6 weeks of stress leave. Just another hurdle I forgot to mention there.
Throw that one in there too.
I'll just chuck that in. If anyone wants to know about, you know, work cover, stress, burnout, potential health issue, and look, there's people I've made have much worse of those those lists than me, but it's just a chance to kind of just reflect and look back and go, rightio. Sometimes I think those things happen a bit like COVID, because you just need to stop and just check in with, are you going where people want you to go, what's more socially acceptable, or are you doing what makes you happy?
I'm speechless. Just
no, that's because I talk too much.
No, it's such that question just gives me goosebumps, and I wish more people ask this. I wish we were encouraged more to talk about, is this the direction for you? Does this make you happy? Just that question. Is what you're doing today making you happy?
And I think once people get over what happy is, or actually more importantly, get under what happy is, happy doesn't mean smiling all the time. You know, happy doesn't mean in a state of giggles, and it doesn't mean there's no stress. It just means being happy with where you're at now. And sometimes be happy with the fact that the wheels are falling off. This is an opportunity for you to kind of dig down and go, rightio, why'd the wheels fall off?
Right, what's going on?
Yeah, where's the mechanic? Which mechanic do I need today?
And
they're out there.
Help, they are out there.
Yeah.
They are out there. And I think the reference there to the mechanic, this was what we were talking about a little bit before, but I'd love to bring it back to this as well, is you were talking about resilience. And resilience was something that I learned a lot about over the last few years, because I had a belief that resilience was really just being able to continue to do things and hold everyone up, and that happiness factor didn't really come in place. But the biggest thing that I've learned, and what I'm hearing again from what you're sharing, Kate, is resilience is the ability to bounce back. It's the ability to stop and pause and look under the covers, find the right mechanic, and bounce back up. Not just keep on going until burnout.
And I hear there, Loz, because that's really what happened with me in banking. I think, you know, I believe, you know, for probably that 5 or 6 years after that engagement breakup, I reckon I was just bouncing. I wasn't sticking anywhere. I was just like, right, world, I'm out of the small country town. I'll move to the huge country town, Bendigo, woohoo. But for me, it was a massive jump socially, and everything changed. And I didn't want to have any real deep connection with anything other than really close friends. For me, that, like you, I was kind of like, I was choosing not to commit to anything because that would bring me pain. But I needed that stage. I totally needed that stage. It was a great way for me to understand myself and to do stuff that I thought was good but wasn't in the end. All of that was my learning time, and I loved it. But you're right. Resilience isn't just keeping on going. In fact, that's the opposite of resilience.
That's complete opposite, isn't
That's just ignoring stuff, pushing it down, and eventually that kettle will boil. It'll boil over, and it did boil over for me too. So, and it took me, I think, the other part of it was I'm really pleased now. I'm seeing things change in that I was actually ashamed of what that I couldn't go to work. I hid it. I didn't tell many people. I didn't tell anyone of the MS diagnosis. So there was a lot of times where I felt what I was going through was shameful, or in some way it was showing that I was less than or not strong. All the things that I've been brought up to be. So so resilience. Well, obviously one of the toughest things you can do is ask for help. That's a real sign of strength.
It's a massive sign of strength.
And knowing how hard it was for me to kind of go, hey guys, I hate my life. I don't know what I'm doing. Where should I be? All of that sort of stuff took a lot of, and I believe that's the best kind of resilience, is just allowing yourself to be strong enough to let someone else pull you up.
Yeah, but asking for help.
But the good news is, it gets easier.
Yes, it does. It becomes a habit, doesn't it?
It does.
I'm asking for help now, but man, if you'd asked me that 5 years ago, there is no way I would have asked for help at all.
No.
Now I'm like, okay, what do I need help with?
Yeah. I think you and I probably connected over that because we both kind of slammed into each other in a workplace where there was stuff to be done. And we were like, come on, let's do it. Let's do it. And
do it.
Yeah, and if anything, we're like, don't hold us back.
I know, we're on fire, weren't we?
I always remember when we first did our training. Remember I took you in and we did a training session together and we played a bit of a game with the attendees. We messed up the training deliberately so we could prove the point of how important, how important it is to treat people correctly in the workplace.
I love that. That is one of my best memories. And for the viewers watching here, I can't remember what it was. It was on, it would have been on, I can't remember the topic, but basically.
I think it was just customer service basics, yeah.
Yeah, and I came in as Kate's apprentice, just learning. So just learning they thought I was there to observe Kate, to learn how to be a good trainer. Yeah. And what we did, I came in trackies. I was on my phone.
You're on your phone?
No, I was on my phone and I had stuff written on my hand and just honestly, you should have seen the looks that I was getting. And I had to put myself outside of my comfort zone to do this.
It was hilarious.
To say, this is a joke and talking. I just have to be this disruptive person while Kate's delivering this training. And we completely planted it.
We did. And they fell for it. And it worked.
They did. Yeah.
It worked really well because at the end of it, we kind of stopped and went, okay, guys, you might think something weird's going on here because Lauren's been awfully rude. And they all went, she's horrible.
I answered my phone during this. Didn't I? And I walked past you.
You walked in front of me while I was talking.
It was so much fun.
It was. And it was just, I think that was, because that was one of my early days. That was before I started my business. I was still a contract trainer then. And that was when I really thought, this is what I want to do.
Yes, same. As I said, you have been so, such a big mentor and a big part of my life in terms of bringing fun. It's the experience. The experience that we created in that training is my passion and vision for life. Bringing fun and losing the perfection.
Totally.
That day.
Yeah. I just loved it. I think that's the thing, like bad stuff's going to come and find you. Don't go looking for it.
No, exactly.
Like the world will turn, things will happen. Yeah. So use the time when there's no kind of, boulders hanging over your head, so to speak, and there's no horrible stuff happening. Enjoy it. Make the most of it because down times will come. And that's just life.
So you've told us about all of the down terms and the path and the plan that you've created, Kate. Okay, what has been the biggest transformation that you have seen in yourself, in your career, in your life?
Let me put it this way. I asked my husband. So
Yeah.
we've been together now for close to 15 years.
Yeah.
16 years nearly. And I said to him a while back, actually, I don't think I even asked him. I think he just came and told me, which made it even more powerful. He said, you sound so much, when I hear you talk on the phone, you sound different. And I said, oh, what do you mean? Like business calls. And he said, you know your stuff so well, and you always did, but now you're so confident, just delivering what I do in a way that makes me feel really, really, really not passionate. I just get a bit over the passionate word, but it's apparently coming across with great passion. And that's been the change. So what I equate that to is I recently got an opportunity just to have an online TV show.
Yeah.
Now, if you had have asked me about that probably 3 or 4 years ago, not like just no.
Yeah.
And I jumped at it. I absolutely jumped at it, and I went in there and I, from all reports, nailed it. And I would so I guess it's confidence, but I guess for me more than anything, it's I've been given validation that what I do makes a difference. So it's people saying, yes, Kate, we love this. Yes, this is working. I've also been told that people don't like it, and I've survived that. Yeah, I think it's the combination of me going, you know what, I don't care if you don't like it. I'm not for everybody. And I'm not interested in your trolling and all that sort of stuff. So I think the biggest change has been, and maybe that I think a lot of that has to do with age, but I also think it's to do with practice. Just put yourself out there. So the whole world of video is now just our new norm, and talking into cameras. But yeah, that's a huge jump for me to actually go, you know what, I'm going to have my own TV show, and I'm going to invite guests on and talk about what I do. And I don't know, confidence, clarity, old age.
The combination of the three. To me, you've been a mentor from day dot. So I have always seen that passion and that confidence in you, because when what you've taught me is stuff that you've always believed in, the ability to train human behavior, bringing fun. And I love hearing that that's just really helped you so much more to be confident and to bring that and to have your own TV show and bringing more of you to life. I mean, that's an amazing legacy to leave, and I'll ask you shortly what your biggest legacy is, but that what you're creating for the world is amazing, and you're just looking within you and doing what you do best.
I think actually that's probably it. I think I was trying to find the words for it, but that's it. I now give me permission to be me.
Yes.
And I don't hide behind the corporate banking world. I don't hide behind what society wants. Of course, for the first 3 years of the business, you take the jobs you can get to get the money in the bank so that you can then come out the other end and be you.
Yeah.
I'm always me, but there's different me. Yeah. So there was, for the first 3 years of running my own business, there was compliant me, 3 bags full me, yes, I can do it me, which was good. It got me to develop products and services because people needed them. But now I'm at the other end going, now what do I want to do, and how's the best way I can reach people? And at the intersection of that, I've got to have fun doing what I'm doing, and I must be helping people. That's my 2 things. It's got to be fun, and I must be helping people. And if it's not, now I actually can, kind of go, okay, well, maybe we're not a good fit.
And I think the ability to get to that stage. Is it fun? Am I helping people? And if not, that's okay. That's
okay.
Everyone. Yeah.
No, I'm not for everyone, and it'll still hit me in the gut if I get negative feedback and reviews. I mean, that's good. That's just a reminder, because it'll either hurt because I think there's an element of truth in it, or it'll hurt just because I don't like people being unkind.
Yeah.
And I can deal with the unkind. I can't change everybody.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. So what's the legacy that you are going to leave on this world, Kate?
I love this question, Loz. Do you know, I have thought about this because no one's ever asked me before, and I think because I don't have children, I don't have that, obvious, here's my legacy, I'll impart to my children kind of thing. And I always felt, I don't know whether I have an answer for this. So I thought about it, and the legacy I want to leave behind is no matter who you are, where you are, what circumstance you are in life, you must back yourself.
Mm.
And for me, I love acronyms.
Yeah.
So for me, I use the word, I do. So I like the word back, because back is like trust yourself, back yourself. But I like to use the word back in be authentic, be courageous, and be kind. So that's my BAC. So I haven't, because you've made me think about it. So I ran across my life and I thought, what have I always done that worked?
Yeah. And
there's always been a level of authenticity, but we change as we get older. So who I was when I was 20 is not who I am now. So it's just get into your gut and go, is that really what I want to do?
Yeah.
I've got to be a bit courageous. Just got to push the boundary a little bit, and no matter what. Yeah, just because the other side of fear is awesome. And you must be kind. I cannot, I think that's why in several times in my career I've hit the wall, because I just thought what I'm doing isn't kind. And what this business stands for to me isn't kind. So things like that always trip me up. So back yourself, even when you're down as low as you think you can go. If you can't back yourself, get your own team around you that will back you. So we can overcome everything except for the thing that we can't overcome, and that's when you need to have people around you to help you. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Back yourself.
Yeah, and you made me think of that.
Good. And I can say that is absolutely one of the things that you taught me in the early days. Again, we haven't had this conversation. You've just identified this. You gave me that from day dot. Back yourself in the training, showing up in the trackies to disrupt the training, to teach them things. Back yourself and have fun doing it. So
and you forgot there's one other really important thing I did teach you, Lauren.
What? The acronym?
The toilet paper.
Oh, yes! The toilet paper. So for everyone watching, which way do you put... Oh, this has changed my life. How have I not talked about this? So what way do you put the toilet paper? So do you have the toilet paper so the toilet paper's that way, or that you pull it down? And Kate and I had this conversation 14 years ago. And so the toilet paper on the top, and I don't even know why, so I'll throw it to you in a second, but the toilet paper on the top, I literally cannot go to the toilet now if the toilet
without rolling it over.
Roll's not on the top. I'm that person who turns the roll over.
I'm the same, and I don't even really know why. I just know that that's the right way. And I'm the same, and it drives me insane now when go into people's houses and I think, oh, should I or shouldn't I change their toilet? I could be doing them a wonderful changing thing, but no, it's got to be over, so I have to turn it over.
Do you? Yeah, I don't do it in the public toilet.
No.
I do it at houses, at people's houses and stuff. Yeah. You've taught me that lifelong lesson.
Good. I'm glad there was something really super important there.
Yeah, that's the legacy, that one.
That's it. The toilet paper must go over the top of the roll.
Yeah, and that is one of the things. I will still message Kate randomly. We may not have spoken for ages, and I'll be like, yeah, just turn the toilet paper over again. I
think we tagged each other in a Facebook post about 2 years ago, because it was doing the rounds again of, is it this way or is it that way? And I had to tag you in it because we know.
So much easier. It is.
So much easier.
Oh, the toilet paper. So in addition to the toilet paper advice for people, Kate, what is some advice that you would give our viewers watching today? Perhaps they're in, perhaps they're in a stage in their life where, the bricks have come their way and they're being forced now to make a decision to act. But perhaps they also have this inkling within them, there's something there that they're now just starting to listen to move. What advice would you give someone watching today to start to take action for themselves?
Okay. So, it's always tricky to give advice. Trust that gut. Get a bit excited, because, as long as you have shelter and food and support system around you, you can have, we're so lucky in Australia, you can have any life you want. We need health, we need food, we need shelter. And once you've got those things, everything else is up to you to decide what and how you want to do it. But if you need help unlocking this, which I did, I needed someone to take me through some questions, to ask me the right question, to give me permission to push back, all of that stuff. So I think that if you're in a spot now, particularly with COVID, I know a lot of people are rethinking, is this the job I want? I haven't got a job anymore, you know, and I feel for those people. I really, really do. But I also want to remind them that this is a great opportunity to, I don't know, go down a different path, try something different. Yeah, so reach out for help. I think if you're unable to untangle that mess yourself, and you often you can't, it's like you're in the eye of the storm and you can't see what's outside the circle of, you know, cyclone that's going on around you. You do need, I think I also, I went and had some counselling probably 3 or 4 times across my life.
Yeah.
Because I just felt it was too messy. I can't see. I'm too close to it.
Yeah.
And you need someone to come in, particularly not family or friends, because they have a vested interest in you getting well or getting happy.
And keeping comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. You want to use those people as your support system to rest your head on. You don't want to go to them for advice and help, because that's too much to put on another a friend or family member. But also there's people that are really trained to do this. So if you're in that spot where you're down and you can't see the train, let alone the tunnel, pop your hand up. And even if you start with Beyond Blue, even if you start with something online where you can go and get some advice, but make sure there's a human involved, not just reading stuff, and there needs to be, you know, personal help for you. Obviously, for those that might be watching that are thinking that, you know, good on you, Kate, you've sailed through. I haven't. I've been down there and I really needed other people to pull me out of it. So if you're at the career trajectory, or if you're at a point at a crossroad now and you're thinking, gee, I'd really like to try something different, bloody go for it. You get one shot at this.
Yes.
You cannot fail. You can't fail. Not trying, to me, is failing. So, you know, the old regret what you didn't do is not good. Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets. And there's no failure, there's only feedback. There's only feedback.
Oh, I like that. There's no failure, there's only feedback. I love that.
Yeah. It helps in those moments when those obstacles come, because they come.
They do.
Failure, only feedback. All right, what's the feedback here? What am I going to do differently?
Yeah, and if you're finding that you're getting too much of the negative feedback, then kind of go, okay, well, am I surrounding myself with the right people, or is there some truth in the feedback? But you're in control. You are in the driver's seat of your life. So, you know, do you want to drive a Ferrari or?
Yeah, beautiful messages. Kate, how do we follow you? I can see that amazing book of yours in the back. Share it out with us. But for anyone watching, Kate, who's really inspired by the messages that you've shared, the life that you've created, the real, the raw conversation here, how do we continue to follow you?
Okay, so you can, let me say, if you're a LinkedIn person, so I'm on LinkedIn, so Cate Schreck with 3 C's, find me. I am also on tickertv.com.au, so TICKER TV, and you can see my show called On the Front Line. You can, I think, go to the website, lightbulbtraining.com.au, and you can grab a copy of my book, The A to Z of Service Excellence.
Yes.
It's audio. I did a whole audio recording, which is a little bit challenging but fun. And if you work in a school, my second business is called justforschools.com.au. We do professional development training for schools as well. So lots of ways you can find me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kate. There's so many ways here. Just really quickly, the television show. We didn't talk about that. So what's the television show if we want to find you there?
Yeah, so the television show, it's an online platform. Ticker TV is a new online platform for business, entrepreneurs, startups, all of that. So I have a half-hour show. It's only just started. It is called On the Front Line. So it's everything that shines a light on our wonderful workers in businesses across Australia. I know at the moment we think frontline, we think medical, all of that, but the front line of any business is the people, the staff that have direct contact with the customers. So, I have employers come on and talk about, you know, what they're looking for people that might be wanting frontline jobs. I have service providers come in, everything from, you know, people that come and do yoga in the workplace to people that do ergonomic fit outs to trainers, assessors, and also I'll bring on, I can't wait, I've got some people coming on who have won customer service awards. So the whole show is dedicated to the wonderful people who work on the front line in businesses across Australia, because I believe they miss out on a lot of education, and they are the ones that are really responsible for the reputation of a business. So they need our help and they need our thanks.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And even that, you know, that's you helping people and bringing fun, isn't it? Your own
section.
TV show to help people.
I know. I remember a conversation that I had when I joined an entrepreneurial group to help develop my business, and the guy that was running it was incredibly intimidating to me. And in a room full of 40 people, they had this activity on day one, and you had to pair up and say, what's the real reason you're running your business? And I was that person that was left, you know, I must have been 39 people, and I was left without a partner, and I ended up with the guy that was running the show. And I just, I felt sick. Anyway, I said to him, I'd just like workplaces to be happier, and I'd like to kind of help people understand depression better. And I said it in this mousy little voice. And he looked at me and sort of went, yeah, work on it. And that was like a firecracker to me. I was like, I'll show you. So I think that TV show is finally the thing, and the book and the businesses. It's like, hey, tell the world what you're going to do and do it.
I love it. And that's that vision. You know, I know you're planning 12 months ahead, but you've got that vision. You've had that vision from day dot. Yeah,
it is. It's a pretty cool life I'm living. I'm very happy, and I'm thrilled about all the bad stuff that happened as well. It wasn't bad, all the learning stuff that happened as well. I'm a lucky girl.
Oh, that's beautiful, Cate. Thank you so much, Cate, for coming on today.
Pleasure.
So grateful for you sharing your beautiful world with us and all of your beautiful words of wisdom.
Thank you, Loz. Thank you for what you're doing. I truly believe that this art of storytelling, it is making a huge difference. So I hope that, you know, maybe if just one person's watching, they kind of get a little bit of excitement about the fact that you too can meet someone 15 years ago, never see them much, never touch them, but you can still have this fun chat.
Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth. You know, the connections, the conversations, the relationships that we build along life are what makes us who we are today. So thank you for being a big part of my life and for now my viewers' life. My pleasure, Loz. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So everyone, that is a wrap of our Real Talk here today with Cate Schreck. I'm so grateful that you got to meet Cate. And like Cate, like me, like the other people that you've been watching today, you can absolutely create and live a life that you love. It just starts with taking that first step. You've got it. I believe in you. We'll be back on here again really soon. Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, Mlikota here. If you liked this video and want to receive even more like it, then click the subscribe button below so that you can keep updated with regular content that I am posting just for you. So take action right now, click the subscribe button below, and I look forward to connecting with you again really soon.